My parents were extremely religious. They met at church and married within
How are
6
you?
months. 5 years later, I was born, and from my earliest memories, my mother read me the Bible every night like a bedtime story, over and over, until I almost knew it by heart. We went to church twice a week. Faith was everything in our household. When it came time for school, public education was forbidden. I attended a strict Catholic school where every teacher was a nun, and every year I moved down the same hallway in the same building. The rules were strict. Perfect uniforms, perfect grades, perfect obedience. Any slip could have consequences. Senior year, I expected another nun. Instead, a priest stood at the front of the classroom. He didn't turn when I entered, but somehow he knew I was there. "Pick a seat," he said. There was something wrong about him. Too precise, too watchful. Class started and everything seemed normal. But after winter break, students began disappearing. 3 were gone in one day, then more each week. Those called to stay after class never returned. Fear hung over us, silent but heavy. And then it was my turn. "See me after class," he said. My heart raced. Every student before me had vanished. I obeyed. He asked if I truly believed. I lied. He didn't believe me. Then it began. He snapped his fingers, one by one, and I heard them break. His eyes turned an unnatural blue. His nose bled, and he began speaking in tongues, Latin, then something older, darker. It was a ritual, a demonic one. It fed off those who lacked faith. I realized I might be next. My fight or flight response kicked in, and I ran. Emergency exit doors, empty hallways, streets outside. I didn't stop until I reached home. Desperate for answers, I searched. What I found terrified me. This priest or entity fed off the faithless. 15 victims, then possession. It could only enter holy ground if the host was a religious figure. I had narrowly escaped. I left home soon after. My parents let me live freely. I finished high school online and went to college far away. I never saw the priest again, and I don't think I ever want to. Religion had been my world, until it almost destroyed me. Some nightmares stay with you forever. Mine started in a classroom, with a priest who wasn't human. And maybe some things are best left unseen. Spring of 2018 marked my last semester in high school. I wasn't taking my grades seriously, and I often skipped classes with my friends, Tyler and Christian. That Friday, we planned to sneak out to McDonald's, but we didn't want to get caught, so we decided to take the forest trail behind the school. The forest was quiet, the leaves rustling beneath our feet. At first, it felt like freedom. No teachers, no rules. But 5 minutes in, something strange happened. A boy appeared on the trail ahead of us. His clothes were filthy, caked in mud and leaves, hair sticking out in all directions. My stomach turned cold. There was something off about him. Christian recognized him as a lower classman and tried to talk casually, asking why he was out here. But the kid was shaking, looking around nervously, and I could feel my pulse racing. My hands were sweaty. My throat felt dry. Tyler made a joke about camping in the forest, and the kid just glared at us, almost angry. Then he said something chilling. "Do you guys want to see something?" Before we could answer, he lifted his shirt, and there it was, a handgun tucked into his waistband. Time seemed to slow. My heart felt like it would burst. I was frozen, paralyzed with fear. Christian's voice trembled as he asked, "Where'd you get that?" The boy's response sent shivers down my spine. "You don't understand. I'm about to be in a lot of trouble." We didn't wait another second. We turned and ran. The forest seemed endless. Branches scratched our faces, our lungs burned, and every step felt like it could be our last. Finally, we reached the parking lot near the school, only to be met with flashing lights, sirens, and police cars everywhere. My heart was still pounding, hands shaking, adrenaline coursing through every vein. Later, we learned the boy had stolen the gun and posted threats online. That day, I realized how quickly life can go from carefree to terrifying. Every time I think back, I still feel the fear, the panic, the helplessness of that moment. A few months later, during my school's production night, my friend and I volunteered to help set up the auditorium. It was late, around 8 p.m., and the school was mostly empty. We were laughing and joking, helping the janitor move chairs and props. But as I walked down a quiet hallway to use the bathroom, I noticed a blinking red light on the ceiling. It was a security camera, and it was following me. My stomach dropped. My hands were trembling. I whispered to my friend, pointing it out. Her eyes widened, and suddenly, the hallway didn't feel safe. Every shadow seemed to move. Every creak of the floorboards made me flinch. We told the janitor, who immediately looked concerned. Together, we cautiously approached the utility closet from which the camera seemed to operate. The door was slightly open before, but now it was locked. My heart skipped. My breath felt shallow. And then a scream, followed by a loud gunshot, echoed down the hall. We froze. My blood ran cold. My knees shook. I couldn't move. I couldn't even breathe properly. The janitor eventually returned, ushering us out quickly, refusing to explain much. Later, we learned a man in his 40s had been living in the closet, armed, using the cameras to watch the school. The thought that someone had been silently observing our every move, planning who knows what, made my stomach churn. That night, I learned that danger can hide in the most unlikely places. Even familiar hallways can become traps. A few years after that, near the end of another semester, a few friends and I ditched class to play basketball near the edge of the forest behind our school. The court was small, secluded, and for a moment, it felt like a little escape from reality. We were laughing, making shots, joking around, until a scream ripped through the air. It is the kind of scream that made your blood run cold. My stomach dropped. Fear gripped me instantly. We ran toward the sound, only to see two masked men attacking a group of college-aged kids with baseball bats. The chaos was surreal. Screams, shouting, the thud of bats hitting bodies. Then, one of the masked men turned and looked directly at us. Cold, terrifying eye contact that froze me in place. My legs almost gave out. My hands were shaking uncontrollably. I could feel my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. We ran, sprinting through the forest, lungs burning, every snap of a branch sounding like a gunshot. Later, the school went into lockdown. Some kids were hospitalized. The masked attackers were never caught. Even today, I still can't forget the gaze of that man in the ski mask. The image haunts me. That day showed me how fast normal life can turn into pure terror and how lucky we were to escape.